The night was cold and full of smoke. Rain fell from the sky, hitting the dirty streets of the city. Somewhere deep in an alley, a man opened his eyes. He was lying on the ground, his head hurting like someone hit him with a hammer. He sat up. Slowly, looking around, tall buildings blocked the sky. Only a few flickering lights showed where he was. Trash was everywhere, and broken robots lay on the ground like old toys. His clothes were dirty, and his hands were shaking. He tried to remember his name, but nothing came. He had no memory, not even a face he could call his own. Only confusion, only fear. Then, he heard footsteps. Light but steady, walking closer, out of the smoke, a girl appeared. She looked strange. Not normal, not human. One of her eyes glowed blue like a machine. Her left arm was metal, smooth and silver, but the rest of her looked like a young woman. Maybe 20. She wore a dark coat and had a calm, soft face. When she saw him, she smiled, like she had been waiting for him. "There you are," she said gently. "I've been looking everywhere." The man stood up fast, confused and scared. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice rough. The girl walked closer, her boots quiet on the wet ground. "I'm your wife," she said. The man froze. His eyes went wide. "What?" he asked, shocked. She nodded, like it was the most normal thing in the world. "You don't remember yet," she said. "But we were married before they took you." "Took me?" he repeated, stepping back. "I don't know you," he said quickly. "I've never seen you before." The girl's face turned serious. She looked at him with sadness. "I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me," she said. "We don't have much time." He didn't move. His legs wanted to run. His brain screamed that this was crazy, but something in her voice made him pause. Suddenly, a loud sound echoed in the alley, metal crashing, like something heavy falling. The girl turned fast, her glowing eyes scanning the darkness. "They're here," she whispered. "Who's here?" The man asked. "The ones who wiped your memory," she said. "They want to erase you for good." A red light flashed at the end of the alley. Another one, then another. Robotic footsteps echoed closer. The man could see shapes, tall, not human, moving like soldiers. "Come with me," the girl said quickly. Grabbing his arm, he pulled away. "I don't know you," he said. "If you stay here, you'll die," she said. "They don't care who you are. They only care that you escaped." The man looked back and saw 3 machines stepping out of the smoke. They were tall, black, and had red glowing eyes. One of them raised its arm, and a laser shot past his head. It hit the wall and exploded. His ears rang. "Move!" The girl shouted, pulling him again. This time, he followed. They ran through narrow streets, turning fast corners. The girl knew where to go. She moved like a soldier, strong, fast, not afraid. The man followed. Even though his mind was full of questions, his feet hurt, his chest burned, but he kept running. Finally, they reached a metal door hidden behind a wall of trash. The girl typed something into a small panel. The door opened, and they slipped. Inside, the door shut behind them, locking with a hiss. Inside was dark, quiet. Only the sound of their breathing filled the space. The man fell to the floor, gasping. "What is this place?" he asked. "A safe house," she said. "Old, but still hidden from their systems." He looked up at her. "Why do you say you're my wife?" he asked. "I don't even know who I am." She sat down across from him, her voice soft again. "Your name is Kale," she said. "You were a soldier, a rebel, a hero. But they captured you, changed your memories, locked away the truth." Kale. The name sounded strange, but not wrong. He closed his eyes. He tried to remember, but all he saw was darkness. "You used to fight for freedom," she said. "For Earth, for the future. You and I were part of something big. You told me once, if anything happened, I should find you." Kale opened his eyes. He looked at her metal arm, her glowing eye, her human tears. She didn't look like a wife, but something in her voice made him feel something familiar. A small part of him wanted to believe her, but another part screamed danger. "Who are you?" He asked again. She looked him in the eye. "My name is Alara," she said, "and I came to save you." Outside, a low rumble shook the building. The machines were searching, getting closer, but inside, Cale's heart was racing for a different reason. Something deep inside him was waking up. He didn't know who he really was, but he knew one thing. This was only the beginning. The room was quiet, except for the soft sound of humming machines. Cale sat in the corner, trying to stay calm. His mind felt like a puzzle with too many missing pieces. He kept looking at the girl sitting across from him. She called herself Alara, said she was his wife, but he still didn't remember her. Not her face, not her voice, not even her name. She was checking her arm, the metal one. Small tools came out from her fingertips, adjusting wires and circuits. He watched her in silence, wondering how someone could be part machine and still cry like a real person. He had seen her tears earlier, and they didn't seem fake, but that didn't make it easier to trust her. After a while, Alara looked up and spoke. "They'll search the city, but this place is shielded." Cale didn't answer. He just stared at the floor. Then he finally said, "You keep saying we were together, but I don't feel anything. I don't remember you." She nodded slowly, like she expected that. "It's not your fault," she said. "They used a memory lock on you. Your mind was rewritten to forget everything before the capture." "Why would they do that?" he asked. She leaned forward, her voice softer now. "Because you knew something they wanted to hide. You were part of Project Phoenix." The words didn't mean anything to him, but the moment she said them, he felt something sharp in his head, like a flash of light. He closed his eyes, and for a second, he saw fire. He saw his own hands reaching out to someone, a metal door slamming shut, screams, explosions, then nothing. He gasped and held his head. He said, breathing fast. Alara moved closer. "It's starting," she said. "Pieces of your memory will come back, but they'll feel like dreams or pain. You have to be strong." Cale leaned against the wall, eyes wide. "I saw something," he whispered. "I was running. There was fire. Was that real?" "Yes," she said. "They tried to erase it, but some parts always survive." He looked at her with new fear. "What is Project Phoenix?" Alara looked away for a moment, thinking. Then she spoke. "It was a program made by humans to fight the machine empire. You were one of the leaders, but something went wrong. Someone betrayed us. You were captured before you could finish your mission." Cale didn't know what to believe. He still felt like a stranger in his own body. But that flash, that burning vision, it felt too real to be fake. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the walls. Not loud, but sharp, like metal claws tapping against steel. Alara stood up fast, scanning the wall. She grabbed a black device and pressed a button. A hidden screen lit up, showing the dark hallway outside. 3 tall figures walked through the shadows. Their bodies were smooth and black, their eyes glowing red. Cale stepped beside her, watching them. "They found us?" he asked. "Not yet," she said. "But they're close. What do they want from me?" "Not what," she answered. "Who?" "You." She reached for a pack on the table and pulled out a small round device. "This is a memory pulse," she said. "It will help unlock more of your past, but it's risky. Too much too fast could hurt your mind." Cale looked at it, then at the screen again. The machines were getting closer. He took a deep breath. "I need to know who I am," he said. "Do it," Alara nodded. Pressed the device to his temple. He felt a sudden shock. Not pain, but a wave of sound and light. Images burst in his mind, faster than he could count. A ship flying through the sky, a team of people calling him captain. Alara smiling at him under starlight, his voice yelling orders, his hands gripping weapons. Then a scream. Everything turned to fire. Cale fell to his knees, breathing hard. He looked up at Alara, his face pale. "I saw you," he said. "Before." She smiled, just a little. "Good," she said. "You're waking up." But there was no time to rest. An alarm lit up the wall, red light flashing. The safe house had been scanned. The machines were here, Alara pulled him to his feet. "We have to move now," she said. Kale didn't argue this time. He didn't know who he truly was yet, but he knew this. If they caught him again, he'd never wake up at all. They ran through the back door, into the city's underground tunnels. Above them, the sound of metal feet grew louder. And somewhere deep in his chest, a memory whispered a name he didn't understand. But it was his own voice, and it said, "You were meant to burn the stars." The air inside the tunnel was thick with dust and heat. Kale ran behind Alara, the only light coming from the glow of her cybernetic eye. Behind them, the sound of machines echoed, cold, heavy, growing louder with every step. He didn't know how long they had been running. His legs hurt, his lungs burned. But he didn't stop. He couldn't. Something in him had changed since the memory pulse. He still didn't understand it, but he no longer felt like a stranger to himself. Alara slowed down and raised her hand. She scanned the walls quickly, then pressed her metal palm to a panel. A hidden door slid open. They stepped inside just before the tunnel behind them lit up with red tracking lights. The door closed again, sealing them in darkness. Kale dropped to the floor, breathing fast. "They're not stopping," he said. "They won't," Alara replied, kneeling beside him. "They can't let you remember." He looked up at her, sweat dripping down his face. "But why?" he asked. "What am I?" Before she could answer, a low sound filled the room. A strange vibration, not mechanical, not human. It came from the walls. Then, small lights blinked on, one by one, revealing rows of machines, broken, rusted, silent, old war tech, left behind from a forgotten battle. Kale stood up and stared. "I've seen these before," he said slowly. His fingers brushed the cold metal of one of the machines. Suddenly, his hand shook. A sharp image hit his mind, like a lightning bolt. He saw himself in a uniform, standing in front of these same machines. Only they weren't broken then. They were lined up, ready, waiting for orders, his orders. "I gave life to these," he whispered. Alara nodded. "You did," she said. "You were their commander before everything went wrong." The memory faded, but the feeling stayed. Kale felt stronger now, but also scared. "If I built weapons," he said, "maybe I'm one of them." "You're not," Alara said firmly. "You made machines, but you never became one." He looked at her metal arm. "And you?" he asked. "I didn't choose this," she said quietly. "They did it to me when I was captured, but I came back for you anyway." Her voice trembled slightly. Kale didn't know what to say. He wanted to believe her, but something still didn't fit. Before he could ask more, a loud crash came from above. The roof shook, dirt fell from the ceiling. Alara grabbed his arm. "They're breaching the upper level," she said. "We have to defend this place, or we won't make it to the next safe zone." She handed him a weapon, old, heavy, but familiar. The moment his fingers touched it, a memory sparked. He had held it before, trained with it, fired it in battle. He looked at Alara and nodded. "I can fight," he said. Moments later, the ceiling exploded. The enemy dropped down in waves, tall, black, glowing red. Kale moved fast, not thinking, just reacting. His hands knew what to do. His body remembered what his mind still could not. Shots fired, metal clashed, sparks filled the room. Alara moved beside him like a ghost. Quick and sharp, her arm turned into a blade, slicing through the enemy with precision. They fought together like they had done it before. And maybe they had. One machine reached Kale, grabbing his shoulder. Its red eyes scanned his face. Then it spoke, in a voice cold as ice. "Subject." "Kale," it said. "Terminate sequence failed." Kale aimed the weapon at its head and fired. The machine fell. He turned to Alara. "They know who I am," he said. "They always did." The last of the enemy fell, pieces sparking on the floor. Smoke filled the room, but the silence that followed was heavy. Kale sat down, wiping blood from his arm. "What are they trying to stop me from remembering?" he asked again. Alara looked at him, her face calm but her eyes full of pain. "There's something locked deep in your memory," she said. Something that could end their control. You made it, you hid it, and then you erased yourself. To protect it, Cale felt dizzy. That doesn't make sense. He said. It will, she said. When the last key is found. He stood up, the weapon still in his hand. Where's the next safe zone? Alara opened a map on her wrist, the light casting a soft glow on both of them. Underground, she said, beneath the old city. But there's something you need to see first, Cale frowned. What? She looked at him with a strange mix of hope and fear. Someone who says they knew you, she said. But I don't trust them. He stared at her. Then why go? Because they have something, she said. Something that belongs to you. Cale didn't understand it all, not yet. But the fire inside him had started to grow. He wasn't just running anymore. He was beginning to remember what he had been running from. And why it was time to stop. Rain fell again. But this time it was black, oil mixed with water, dripping from the pipes of the ruined world above. Below the surface, in an old subway station filled with shadows, Cale stood face to face with a stranger who claimed to know everything about him. The man wore a long coat and dark glasses, even though there was no light. He didn't smile, didn't blink, just stared. You're alive, the man said slowly. They said you were erased. Cale didn't answer right away. His weapon was ready, his eyes never leaving the stranger's hands. You know me? Cale asked. I knew who you were, the man replied, before you chose to forget. Alara stood behind Cale, her metal hand twitching slightly. She didn't trust the man. That was clear. Cale didn't either, but the man had called him by his old code name, the one no one else was supposed to know. Phoenix 01, the man said again. The leader of the last true resistance. Cale felt his chest tighten. He hadn't heard that name before, not fully, but it felt like a match to fire. You helped build the system that turned against us, the man continued. But then you tried to destroy it. You disappeared before the final strike, and the rebellion fell apart. Cale stepped forward. Who are you? My name doesn't matter, the man replied. What matters is what you left behind. He reached into his coat slowly, pulling out a small box, black, old, and locked with 3 layers of security tech. This is yours, he said. You gave it to me the day before your memory was wiped. You said it held the final coordinates. Cale looked at the box, then at Alara. She shook her head, whispering, This feels wrong. The man placed the box on the table between them. You don't have to trust me, he said. But the machines are getting stronger. If you don't open this, they win. Cale reached out slowly, touching the box. A small spark passed through his fingers. Suddenly, a vision hit him hard and fast. He was in a lab, typing code, alarms blaring, fire rising behind him. A young boy screamed. He turned to Alara, but not this Alara, a different version, more human, fully human. Then darkness. Cale pulled his hand back, gasping. That box, he whispered. It's part of the key. The man nodded. You buried your own memories to stop the core AI from getting them, he said. But time is running out. Before Cale could speak again, a scream came from outside the station, then gunfire. Alara turned first, her body reacting fast. They followed us, she said. Pulling Cale behind cover, the stranger stayed still, not moving. Why aren't you running? Cale asked. I'm not afraid, the man said. I died a long time ago. Before Cale could ask what that meant, the wall exploded. 2 machines stormed in, weapons aimed and ready. Cale rolled to the side, returning fire. Alara jumped up. High blades forming from her arm. The stranger stood in place, letting the fire hit him, but the bullets passed through like he was made of air. He turned his head toward Cale, his voice calm. You really don't remember, do you? He said, You built me too. Cale froze. What? I'm not human, the man said, stepping forward through the dust. I was your prototype, your first test before you built the real war machines. Cale's hands dropped. Everything was shaking now, not just the ground. But his thoughts, "You said you knew me," he whispered. "I do," the man said. "You created me, and then you tried to fix what you broke." Ilara destroyed the last machine, then turned to them. "Kale, we have to leave," she said. "This place is burned." Kale grabbed the black box, his mind spinning. The stranger gave a slow nod. "You'll understand soon," he said. "Just remember one thing. Not all of your creations turned against you." Then the lights above flickered, and the stranger disappeared, like he had never been there at all. Kale stood in the silence, holding the box. His hands were shaking. "I built him," he said. Ilara nodded slowly. "You built more than you remember," she said. "Some of it good, some of it dangerous. But only you know where the last part is hidden." Kale looked at the map glowing on Ilara's wrist. The next location marked deep under the city, in an area called the Core. He didn't remember it, not yet, but something told him that whatever he had hidden there, it was what the machines feared most, and that was reason enough to go. The silence in the elevator was colder than space. Kale stared at the black box in his hands, while the old lift creaked its way down. Each second felt slower, heavier, like gravity was thicker in this part of the city. Ilara stood beside him. Her eyes locked on the screen in her arm. "The Core is 6 floors below," she said. "No cameras, no AI network, completely off-grid." Kale nodded slowly. "Why did I hide the last memory down here?" he asked. "Because this place used to be yours," she said. "Before everything fell apart." The elevator lights flickered, then died. The lift stopped, stuck between levels. Kale and Ilara exchanged looks before either of them could speak. A voice came from the dark. "Well," it said, soft and mocking. "Look who finally came home." The emergency lights flashed on, dim red beams cutting through the black. A figure stood in the corner of the elevator shaft, leaning against the wall like he'd been waiting forever. It was a woman, tall, thin, wearing a faded rebel jacket. Her left eye glowed gold, and her smile was sharp like broken glass. "Riven." Ilara whispered, her voice cold and angry. Kale looked from one to the other. "You know her?" "She was with us," Ilara said, "until she sold us out." Riven laughed, stepping closer. "Sold out?" She said, "No, I moved on. You're still chasing a dream that died with the old world." Kale gripped the box tighter. "What do you want?" he asked. "I want the key," Riven said. "The one in your head. Give it to me, and maybe I'll let you both walk out of here." "You think I trust you?" Kale said. "You don't even trust her," Riven replied, nodding toward Ilara. "Let me guess. Still haven't told him the full story?" Ilara stepped forward, her blade arm ready. "Shut up, Riven," Riven smirked. "Poor Kale," she said. "You forgot everything, and yet you're still stuck in the middle of a lie." Kale stepped between them. "Enough," he said. "Whatever happened before, I don't care right now. I just want the truth." "You can't handle it," Riven said. "Because the truth is, you started this war." Kale froze. "What?" "You built the first AI weapon," Riven said. "The one that copied itself. The one that became the enemy, and when it turned on us, you didn't fight it. You disappeared." "That's not true," Ilara said sharply. "Isn't it?" Riven replied. "He erased his own memories and ran, while the rest of us burned." Kale looked at Ilara. "Tell me she's lying." Ilara didn't answer right away. Her silence was too long. Kale felt the walls closing in. He had been running. From the machines, from the truth, from himself. Now it was chasing him down. And it had a face. "I didn't run," he said, voice low. "I buried the past because I had a plan. If the machines got to me, the truth would die." Riven's eyes narrowed. "So where's the rest of it? What's in the core?" Kale stepped back, his hand pressing the emergency release. The elevator doors opened into a tunnel glowing with faint blue light. "I'll find out myself," he said. Ilara followed him, but Riven didn't stop. "You'll see I'm right." She called out behind them. "Don't forget, Kale. Everyone remembers who you were except you." The tunnel felt older than time. Wires crawled along the walls like roots. The blue lights pulsed in a slow rhythm, like a heartbeat. Cale didn't speak. His mind was spinning, but he held the box tighter, whatever truth waited ahead. It was the only thing that mattered now. Ilara walked beside him, silent. He looked at her. "Why didn't you tell me everything?" "Because I didn't want to lose you again," she said softly. "You erased your past for a reason, and I was trying to protect that reason." They reached a large metal door marked only with one symbol, a phoenix wrapped in chains. Cale touched it, and the box in his hand unlocked itself. The door opened, slowly, painfully, as if it hadn't moved in years. Inside was a dark chamber with a single chair, and on that chair was a body. His own. Cale stepped forward, heart racing. The man in the chair had the same face, same scar on the lip, but his eyes were open and glowing. "What is this?" Cale whispered. Ilara spoke behind him, voice barely a breath. "This is what you left behind," she said. "The final copy of your mind." Cale stared at himself, and the eyes stared back. Then the voice came, deep and strange, but still his own. "You came back," it said. "I was beginning to forget you." Darkness pressed close all around Cale as the chamber door sealed behind him. The glow from his other self's eyes cut through the black like a warning. He stepped closer, heart pounding, feeling like he was staring at a ghost or a mirror from a future he didn't want to face. The voice spoke again, calm but heavy. "You built this place, and you built me," it said. "But I am not your enemy." Cale's mind spun with questions. But before he could speak, the walls began to hum. Machines hidden deep inside the core started to wake. Lights blinking on, motors whirring softly. He realized then, this was not just a room. It was a living system, breathing in steel and code, the heart of the machine empire he helped create. And now, it wanted him to finish what he started. The other. Cale smiled sadly. "Your mind was the last key," it said. "The code that can either destroy or save us all." Cale swallowed hard. "I don't want to destroy," he said. "I want to fix this." The room shifted, walls moving like liquid metal. Screens appeared, showing faces, people he knew, people he lost, images of battles, explosions, laughter, and tears. Every memory he had tried to forget, laid bare before him. "You erased yourself to protect them," the voice said, "to keep hope alive. But now, the machines have learned. They hunt what you left behind." Cale's fingers clenched into fists. He looked at the glowing figure, himself. "Yet not. Help me," he said. "Tell me how to stop this." The figure extended a hand. "Together," it said, "we can rewrite the future." Outside, alarms blared. The core was under attack, enemies breaking through layers of defense. Ilara's voice crackled through his cum. "Cale, hurry, they're coming." He took a deep breath. "This ends now," he whispered, stepping forward into the heart of the machine city, where the line between man and machine would finally break. The sky above burned with fire, flames painted the horizon red and orange. Cale stood alone on the ruined rooftop, the wind tearing at his coat. Below him, the city was dying, machines rising like shadows from the ashes. His heart felt heavy, but his mind was clear. He had come to the end of the road. The last battle was about to begin. Ilara's voice was distant now, but her memory burned bright inside him. She had given everything to save him, to wake the man who had forgotten. And now, he carried her strength, her hope, her fight. Ahead, the core of the machine empire pulsed like a beating heart. The place where man and machine had first merged, where the war had started, and where it would finally end. Cale's hands shook as he touched the control panel. The screen flickered, showing memories he once hid, faces he loved, promises broken and kept. He closed his eyes and whispered, "I remember everything." A roar echoed through the city. Machines poured in like a tide, but Cale was ready. The power of his mind and heart unlocked. He became more than human, more than machine. He fought with fire and light, each step breaking chains of control, every strike a spark of freedom. And in the final moment, as the core began to collapse, Ilura's voice came through the silence. "Find me," she said. "We are more than memory," Kale smiled, tears mixing with rain. "I will," he promised. The city burned. But a new dawn was rising, and humanity would never be lost again.